Hello, everybody. Welcome to this installment of the Irreverent Therapists. I'm Marilyn Bradford, and I'm joined by my cohort, Pam Houghteling.
Hello, everybody.
Co-pilot. And today's episode is called Why Upgrade to Broccoli Salad? You don't want coleslaw, so you upgrade to broccoli salad. It just costs a few pennies more. What about the rest of your life? Are you willing to upgrade your business, your living situation, the people in your life? Are you willing to go beyond what's comfortable and known? Yaha. So this happened because we were in a restaurant, actually. And I don't remember what I got. I know Pam got some kind of steak sandwich, and she upgraded to broccoli salad. And this started this whole conversation. Why are we okay with what is when it's not really great?
Or not really what you want.
Or really what you want. How many of you are in the it'll do, it's okay, I can deal with it mode, rather than, you know what, I don't really want coleslaw. Yeah. I don't really want this hotel room. I don't really desire this person that says they're my friend or my living situation. What if I upgraded?
I love that. Well, it's interesting. So Marilyn and I have known each other for at least 15 years now. Yeah. And what I would say is I was someone who was settling, like I have a very easy ability to adapt to and get on with whatever is going on. And that's a capacity, you know, that comes in handy. It also meant that I wasn't like asking for more as well. And what I really remember, you know, because Marilyn, you're someone who has, at that time, I had traveled some, but not nearly the extent that you had. You'd been traveling the world and everything. And we started out rooming together at different conferences and stuff. And you know, I'd come into a hotel room and be like, and you'd come in and be like, wait a second, like there's got to be something better than this. And you'd, you know, go talk to the hotel staff and get a nice, comfortable chair brought in, or, you know, have us change to a room that had a better view, you know, and it always surprised me because it didn't occur to me to think that, you know, to me, you rent a hotel room, you get what you get. It wasn't an area that I thought I had any input into.
Almost like being the effect of it. You had to take what you got.
Yep. And there are times where, like I said, that's an amazing capacity. I can make anywhere that I'm living into a space that totally works for me and is beautiful. Yes. And, you know, like, so I'm not trying to say, oh, you always, you know, that you can't settle for whatever you've got. I don't mean that at all. But there's something where, and to me, it's like some areas of life where I would make that demand to have greater, and then the areas where it wouldn't even occur to me. And, you know, to me, those early days of you and I interacting was like, wait, I could do that? Like,
my mom always called me extravagant, and I really was. I'd run up these shopping bills when I was in college. What did you buy? Just one dress. But you're right, Pam. You do have, I mean, it can be a real capacity that you can deal with things, because I was even noticing on this trip, we have a really crappy hotel near the airport where we sometimes stay. It's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't make this work.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what the alternative is.
Yeah.
At least the air conditioner worked last night. But
that's a plus.
That was a plus. That was a real plus. And I really have to look at the opposite end, because there was a time when we flew economy to Australia. Now that was a trek.
That was a trek.
I was younger then. I'm older than that now.
Bodies make it easier.
But the idea of going economy even to Houston is like, I don't think so. And yet I see the advantage of being able to do that at times. So it's really just, how adaptable are you?
to me, it's like you and I have been at times two extremes, right?
Mhm.
Because I would make do with
Yes.
whatever was.
Yes.
At times you wouldn't be okay because of
Mm.
however things are. And
Yeah.
to me, it's really about having the choice.
Yes.
Like, if I know that I have the capacity to adapt and make do with whatever, but I
Mhm.
also have the choice to upgrade,
Yeah.
my life, and ask for that and create that,
Yes.
that gives me choice and possibilities. If you're at the end of, well, I can't be okay if I
Yes.
can't have this the way I think I need it to be, then you're also locked in and at the
Yes.
effect of,
You are the effect of.
you
And I
know,
think you've seen me over the years actually soften that,
exactly.
for
Yeah.
lack of a better term. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever, I can do this. You
Yeah.
know?
But there's so many aspects of life and well, I mean, another is I can eat most anything. You love really good food. I enjoy really good food too,
Yes.
but it's not something I go out of my way to make happen,
Right.
but so to me, it's also about where is it
Yes.
that you want to put your attention and your energy to create
Yes.
those possibilities of
Yes.
upgrading.
Yes.
Because there's some other areas where I'm like, absolutely, like I'm not settling for anything.
What
And,
are those
and
areas, Pam?
well, I'd say part of it is in interacting with people.
Uh-huh.
Like I I really enjoy having relationships that work and that create,
Yes.
right? Like, I don't spend time with people where it's just not going anywhere and there's nothing, like, it's not contributing to either of us creating greater in our lives.
Right.
So, so I'm a relationship snob.
And a tea snob.
And a tea snob. I totally am. And now I'm a coffee snob too, now that I started drinking coffee. It's so funny. But
Mhm.
so yeah, it's, to me, part of it is you said it right at the beginning. It's not being at the effect
Yes.
of, it's knowing that, yes, there's, people around you choose things, the earthquake, this earthquake happens, this, you know, car accident happens, an amazing person walks into your life. Like, there's aspects to it that you don't have any control over, right?
Right. Right.
But I mean, as therapists,
Yeah.
I know we've both always been like, yeah, it's how you are with those things that you
Yes.
have control over and that you can do something about. I mean, that's why I went into social work. I had a very debilitating back injury and I was like, the prospect of this is my life now is a bit of a beyond. And the process for me of coming to terms with that and being like, yeah, I can be living
Yeah.
even with this chronic pain. That's actually also helped me find the ways to undo it
Yes.
and get through it. But it's like, so there's that piece of what you can affect. But to me, this conversation for Marilyn and I is, it's more than that. It's the knowing and the choosing
In the knowing and the choosing.
to go, there's nothing that I have to settle for.
Right.
I can always make the demand for expanding my life and being greater in the world. Now, how that can show up sometimes is impacted by the things around you, but what you do with it is all on you.
Well, and two things I want to say. One is I noticed that when I'm really tired,
Mhm.
like on this trip back from Mexico City, I'm not even going to go into it. I was tired to begin with when it started because
Mhm.
of what I'd done the day before. But I got to the Houston airport and I hadn't eaten and I could not find anything to eat. I
Mhm.
mean, it was that kind of, it's like Disneyland now. You sit at a counter and
Order on the little pads and, oh, I hate it.
I finally went into this, it's a hamburger joint that used to be a nice restaurant and paid $50 for one small cocktail and a burger and fries. They didn't even give you the receipt. I asked to see the bill, and of course they tipped themselves 20%. I wasn't going to object, but I'm like, this doesn't work for me, really. I'm going to find, and I was just so tired. And one thing I've learned, when I'm tired, just be pleasant, Marilyn. Don't, I did, thank you. And it was a good burger. It was a good burger. I just went and collapsed in the lounge. But I have to really be aware when I'm tired, my idea that I have choice in how I react can go away.
Right.
That's what I want to say.
Well,
default
and
to the old kind of.
So to me, to kind of sum that up, it's your capacity to be available for choosing greater.
Yes.
Can ebb and flow.
Ebb and flow. Yeah.
Based on some things going on, and that's a choice, right?
Yes.
Like you can know that, hey, I've had a really big day. I'm super hungry right now. I just need to get some food in me. I am going to put up with this place that I really don't even want to eat, but I know this is what's taking care of me and my body.
Yeah. And it was the only real sit-down restaurant I could find.
Yeah.
The rest were all these counters.
Yep.
But anyway, that was sort of interesting for me. And then the other thing I was really, really looking at, because I knew I was going to go stay in this, quote, crappy hotel because we weren't getting in till 10:30, is how much, we've talked about this before, Pam, your point of view creates your reality. Hey, Marilyn, how much does your point of view that this is a crappy hotel and there's nothing good to eat in Houston create your reality? Where's the fine line between your point of view and what is?
Yeah.
And I've really been looking at that one.
Yes. That's a very good point.
Yeah. I mean, if you expect the food to be crappy everywhere, guess what you're going to find?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, in our little blurb, we said, what about the rest of your life? Are you willing to upgrade your business, your living situation, the people in your life? One of the things that makes me think of is it's not linear, right?
No.
Like why I can remember, because again, we were traveling together to different conferences around the world. And I was always back there in economy. Marilyn would sometimes choose to upgrade. And I had to grapple with is it worth it? Is it worth the money to upgrade to a more comfortable seat and being able to sleep and arrive refreshed and have better food? And I remember how tentative I was about that at first. And then I realized it's not about, I'm spending this money here. Is that worth it?
Right.
It's the choice to take care of myself and take care of my body and nurture myself in some ways. And, all of that enhances my life, and it does upgrade my life.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean, everybody needs to go upgrade their airline tickets. Like for you, it's what is it for you? Like maybe it's actually choosing to create space in your day to go take the walk in nature that feeds your soul, if that's you, or maybe it's the choice to buy the dress that really makes you and your world light up rather than not, it's not a direct correlation. But what I've found is the more I'm willing to put my attention on the quality of life and living, it all expands more and more.
Well, and also that it doesn't have to be money. Like you said, upgrading your life when I have to do this, I have to do that. No, I'm taking time out. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go to a museum. I mean, one of the things I treated myself to in Mexico City were the museums. I had a conference, but I had time on either end. And that upgraded my life.
Yeah.
To learn some about the history of Mexico and all of the different wars and to see the Aztec, they were the most incredibly creative people. in painting, in sculpture, in carving stone, in music. It was like, wow, we tend to think of the Europeans as creative. They're, the Great Renaissance and all of that. And not to scoodle out Asia, but I had no idea that the Aztecs were so amazing. That upgraded my life. It expanded my life. And one thing that we haven't hammered home yet is just ask a question.
Yeah.
If I choose this, what does that create? Or what will my life be like in 5 years? I love to go out to eat. And sometimes I'll just ask, okay, if I go out to eat tonight, what will my life be like in 5 years? And I get up, I'm like, okay, you know what? I think I'll stay home. I mean, you go with the energy, not it has to be more money, or I have to do this, or I can't have this, or I can't have that. Yeah.
I mean, another example is, I'm someone who works a lot. I enjoy my work, but it's also super easy for me to put that before everything else, right? Bit of the workaholic, right, thing going on sometimes. And, and I, like so many people, they're like working and they're like, okay, when I retire, then I'll go do this. Or, when I have a vacation, then I'll give myself some space. And I've had to be like very conscious about choosing this, of actually, what creates a full, rich living, enjoyable living now. And not, well, if I can just get this done, then I'll go blah, blah, blah. So, anywhere you're going, if I can just blank, or once I have blank, like that you're putting it on hold, taking care of yourself or enriching your life with things that contribute to your enjoyment and your fun and, your sense of well-being. Like, what if you do start making that a priority? Because then well, this is where I do want to upgrade to broccoli salad.
Broccoli salad.
Or let's upgrade to something even more yummy. Like, don't limit yourself to broccoli salad.
Pam used to call me up years ago and go, my body's just, that would be, did you happen to override what your body needed, Pam, by working too much?
Who, me? I would never do that.
Sometimes I'm the opposite. It's like, I'm just taking the day off. To heck with it. So sometimes we're on extremes. But,
well, I'd say we've both come a lot. Like we each have our areas where we were kind of more extreme and where we've been really learning how to ask the question and choose what's going to create greater rather than what you think you should do or,
any of those things.
Yeah.
I would say that's true too. Yeah. So
pat ourselves on the back.
Upgrading is just a choice that you do well to ask a question about. And what does upgrade mean to you? And you were kind of hitting on that earlier, Pam. It doesn't mean you have to go business class on the airplane. It can mean something different. That you just set out time for yourself, that you choose different friends, that you buy a piece of furniture that your body loves, a chair, just something that, or a painting that makes you happy.
Well, right before we got onto this show now, I was having lunch and my initial thing was going to be just go grab a few things and eat real quick. And instead I actually prepared a lunch. I cooked some vegetables. I sat down with all my stuff and I relaxed and ate. So to me, that was upgrading my day. Instead of just like, I'm busy and I'm going to fit in this, little bit of food just because I have to. It was creating an experience of being present and choosing something that really probably contributed a huge amount to my body.
Well, and that's it.
Run.
Creating an experience. This is going to sound like a funny upgrade, but I knew a woman who was a doctor. She was an OBGYN, so they make a fair amount of money. What she really loved was going thrift shopping. And it wasn't to save money. It was more like a treasure hunt for her. And whenever she'd get stressed or work too many hours, she'd find a big thrift store and go looking, oh, well, that's kind of cool. And that was an upgrade of her life.
Yes.
So it can be anything that works for you, that brings you joy and creates more space, and has a sense of contributing to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that just sums it right up.
Okay.
Shall we cue the music?
Yes, let's hear the music. Thank you all for joining us.